Well, hello, my name is Errol Parry, and I'm a pioneer priest in the diocese, the Anglican Diocese of Bangor, which is North Wales. I live in a beautiful part of the world in the Conwy Valley, and I've been in North Wales now for just over 8 years, but you can probably tell by my accent that I'm not completely Welsh, although I would say I am in many other respects because I'm a Scouse Welsh person. I speak Squelch. I speak a fair amount of Welsh, but with a Scouse accent. My parents came from North Wales, had their careers in Liverpool, and then retired back here. So I've landed back in the place of my roots, I guess. But in my working life, up to this point, up to the last 8 years, it had been urban, really, a city girl. I started my career with post-university with John Lewis, worked for the John Lewis Partnership in its department stores around the country. And I guess that those 13 years that I had with John Lewis gave me a good grounding in assimilating culture, really, because I worked in so many different cities in different jobs for John Lewis. I was just thinking back, I'd probably spent 2 years in Southampton, 2 years in Liverpool, 2 years in Milton Keynes, in London, in Bristol, etc. So in all of those jobs, you were assimilating its culture, living in its culture in that city, and that would affect all kinds of things, including what people buy. You know, um, people buy. They'd have different taste levels, different measures of value in different cities, and so retailing actually is fascinating, which is quite a different subject, but does reflect actually where people are at, how much money they have in their pocket, where they choose to spend it. It's quite fascinating, but it also gave me that wholehearted passion I have for getting things done through people, I guess. Building teams, listening well, encouraging people on their journey, and also because John Lewis was and is based on workers' cooperative principles, there was a very, very strong sense of accountability, and I carry that right through whatever I'm doing now as a pioneer priest. But there was quite a bit of career before pioneer priestdom. I left the business world in one respect, but just bolted on my long career, I guess, in Liverpool, applying what I knew of business into faith organisations. So I opened two businesses for Liverpool Archdiocese, the Roman Catholic Diocese, a conference centre, and then a shop and a bistro in the Metropolitan Cathedral. And there I got introduced to the whole tourism and events agenda in the city. Ended up being Director of Enterprise at Liverpool Cathedral, where I spent over 10 years, ending up on its Visitor Economy Board, because I could see that whole idea of we do the work of joining in with God. It's called Missio Dei, the posh theological term for it, but opening our doors to the possibilities that God brings us. And in the city at that time in Liverpool, everybody was talking, thinking around regeneration, and the tourism and events sector could help to bring that so Capital of Culture 2008, and its legacy was a period of time that I was absolutely delighted to be working in a very, very special place, to be able to fling open its doors to the possibilities that God was bringing us, and a really creative time working with the arts, working with business, working with the start of cruise liner terminals and all of the rest of it. I guess if I were to look back and just see God's hand in these things, because here I am now, having moved to North Wales and have found myself to be now ordained. It is as a pioneer priest, because I've always been in that position of bridge building. I've always been in that position of curating not only spaces, but the possibility of wherever you are, that you can create a space of belonging. And the architect of Liverpool Cathedral, Sir Giles Gilbert Scott, said, "Don't look at my arches, look at my spaces," which is just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. He created that enormous space built on the duality of the nature of God as awesome and intimate, the awesome nature of God, so that when you walk into that space, you look up and you can't wrap your head around its dimensions, but building in ways in which people can experience the intimacy of God in such a big space. And that gave us such a platform, such a place as that. And now I find myself in such a place as this, where God has set my feet in the majestic mountains of North Wales.